fellow Toastmasters, and honored guests. There's nothing like that first cigarette in the morning when you get out of bed, or the one in your car on the way to work, listening to your favorite radio station, or when you're simply perambulating in the park. But who can forget the one right after you know what? Sorry, I thought I cut that part out. It's clear that smoking is one of the most addictive habits known to man. In fact, according to Psychology Today, cocaine and alcohol addicts claim that smoking is the most difficult to quit, even more than heroin. And it's no surprise, it's also one of the most difficult habits to break. If the author Tolkien were asked to quit smoking, he would respond, "Bad habits die hard." So how do you quit smoking cold turkey? Well, let me make this clear. I don't smoke. I've never smoked, except maybe outside a bar when I pretended to smoke so I could bum a cigarette from a cute guy. But that's another story for another day. So why, you ask yourself, is my speech title How to Quit Smoking Cold Turkey? Well, we all have that one bad habit that is hard to shake. I'm not a complete fraud. It turns out I have a little experience and some advice on how to break a bad habit. I'm a one-stop shop formula right here that you can easily apply to any bad habit you have in 3 simple steps. Who's in?
I'm in.
I'm in.
Who has a really bad habit they want to break? Raise your hand.
Want to break?
Right. Are there any social media addicts, alcoholics, sex addicts, nail
Sugar.
biters?
Sugar.
Oh, I'm sorry, nail biters. That was a little personal. Well, I've got a huge bad habit that has to do with food and wine. Who here likes to eat a lot?
Mhm.
And what about wine or beer? I always say a meal without wine is called breakfast. Well, on January 1st, 2021, after gaining 25 pandemic pounds, it was time to do something about it. So I signed up for an app called Noom. Now, Noom is not your usual quick fix weight loss program. It's more of a mindset change. It teaches you how to break bad habits, one bad habit at a time. So I broke it down into 3 simple steps that I believe you can apply to any bad habit. Even hitting that snooze button for the 20th time, arguing on the internet, or buying things you don't need because they're on sale. I see you. The first step is identifying the habit and the event that triggers the habit. In the case of the smoker in the car, it's an environmental habit. Each time he or she drives to work, they're triggered to smoke just by being in the car. Remember, once something becomes a routine, your brain will perform it automatically, which becomes very hard to stop. In the case of smoking with your coworker or me bumming a cigarette from the cute guy at the bar, it's a social habit. One of my eating triggers is emotional. When I get stressed out, I break out the Ben & Jerry's wavy gravy ice cream and I do some damage. After all, the word stressed is desserts spelled backwards. Step number 2, once you identify the trigger, you remove it or replace it with something else. In the case of the smoker in the car, you could remove the trigger, which is the cigarettes, by putting them in your trunk or leaving them at home and maybe replace them with gum. So little by little, you will break the habit by not associating the ride to work with smoking a cigarette. Step number 3, Repeat over and over until you break or replace the bad habit with a good habit. Now, this is not easy, but it's doable. I'm happy to report that since January, I've lost 20 pounds.
Wow.
The key to weight loss for me was breaking the habit of overeating and over drinking. I used to have a second or third helping. I broke the habit by not bringing the casserole of food to the table, but leaving it at the stove. So it made it harder for me to get seconds because I had to get up and go to the stove. I'm also happy to report that I not only broke my habit of overeating, I also no longer feel any guilt about food. As long as I eat a certain number of calories a day, I can eat whatever I want. Brownies, hot fudge sundaes, French fries, and even Wendy's big bacon triple cheddar cheeseburger at a whopping 1,400 calories.
Wow.
That is if I eat nothing else that day. So going back to the original question, how do you quit smoking cold turkey? My advice, start a new habit. Instead of smoking cold turkey, start putting the turkey on your sandwiches instead. Easy. Back to you, Matt.